Lito Anthony Iacocca, better known as Lee, was born in the Rust Belt in Allentown, Pennsylvania in 1924. Trained as an engineer, he vaulted to auto industry superstardom by helping design and championing the amazingly popular Ford Mustang.
This is the car that dreams are made of.
He also fathered the world's first minivan.
Dodge Caravan, Plymouth Voyager. They're the most versatile wagons ever built in America. There's nothing like them.
With a master's degree from Princeton, Iacocca started at Ford in 1946 as an engineering trainee. He earned his reputation with Ford's racing program in the 60s, but found his place in history with the introduction of the Ford Mustang at the 1964 World's Fair.
The Mustang can be tailored to be virtually anything its buyer desires.
The Mustang was an overnight success. It spawned the American muscle car movement and is still in production today. He was named president of the company 26 years later in 1970. Despite his success at Ford, in 1978 he was unceremoniously fired by company chairman and namesake Henry Ford II, who told him, according to Iacocca's autobiography, "Sometimes you just don't like somebody." Within months he was hired at Chrysler. The next year, Iacocca was named CEO. The company was in serious financial trouble and nearly out of business. But Iacocca persuaded Washington to bail Chrysler out with $1 billion in federal loans. As part of that effort, he agreed to take a personal salary of just $1 a year. Even so, he took heat from critics when he cashed in stock options worth millions. His response was vintage Iacocca.
I mean, that's the American way. If little kids don't aspire to make money like I did, what the hell good is this country? Gotta give him a role model, right?
Iacocca was Chrysler's pitchman. He starred in 61 Chrysler commercials, touting American cars and American values.
I have one and only one ambition for Chrysler, to be the best.
He made Chrysler profitable again and paid the government back every penny. He did it with an emphasis on quality.
If you can find a better car, buy it.
Iacocca introduced longer warranties, lower prices, and a new kind of vehicle. The minivan sold so well, dealers had waiting lists 6 to 10 months long. Iacocca's quest for new models actually redefined the landscape for Detroit's Big Three. He engineered the buyout and eventual demise of number 4 carmaker American Motors, just so he could add AMC's Jeep brand to Chrysler's inventory. Iacocca chaired the commission that raised almost $300 million to restore Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty.
We remember the millions drawn here by that flame, and we renew our commitment to the ideals that kept it burning.
Iacocca was known for talking tough, and he often sounded like a politician.
The administration seems to understand the importance of bargaining chips in nuclear disarmament, for example, but they don't have the faintest idea how to bargain in trade.
In the 1980s, he resisted entreaties to run for the White House himself, but has campaigned since for both Republican and Democratic presidential candidates. Iacocca retired from Chrysler when he was 68, yet when the company presented him with a legacy award 20 years later, his vision couldn't be any clearer.
I think the Big Three is coming back.
Only one car was ever named for Iacocca, a 45th anniversary special edition Mustang produced in 2009.
Who did you expect?
For the hunters, this has been a success. Just hours into Japan's first commercial whaling expedition in more than 30 years, the team harpooned not one, but 2 minke whales. For some in Japan, this is a moment of national pride. Japan's relationship with whales is controversial. To better understand, we head out to sea with Captain Mitsuhiko Maeda. He and his brother lead whale watches for Japanese tourists.
Go! It's cold, it's windy, and it's wet. But people are paying money because they want to see these whales out in the wild.
They're delighted when we spot a minke whale.
Here's the thing about the Maeda brothers. More than 30 years ago, they weren't whale watchers, they were whale hunters.
This is Captain Maeda back in the 1960s, when he worked with a team harpooning whales. That hunt came to an end in 1986, when the International Whaling Commission, of which Japan was a member, imposed a worldwide ban on commercial whaling. That decision was unacceptable, he tells me, because suddenly we lost our jobs. But in fact, some Japanese whalers continued killing hundreds of whales every year, mostly in the Antarctic, under a special permit classifying the hunt as scientific research. Animal rights groups and some Western governments condemned the practice. Last year, Japan announced its abrupt withdrawal from the International Whaling Commission, declaring it would resume commercial whaling again within its own coastal waters.
I was waiting for the day for the commercial whaling to restart again.
Kiyoshi Ejima, a lawmaker and passionate supporter of the whaling industry, applauds the decision.
I shouldn't say victory, it's a start-off, kick-off point.
Do you eat whale meat?
Sure, of course.
They're also celebrating the new whale hunt here at Taruichi, a Tokyo restaurant that specializes in dishes like whale sashimi, whale steak, and fried whale. The owner inherited this whale meat restaurant from his father.
I hope the young generation that did not eat whale meat will inherit this culture and learn to eat it again.
After World War II, whale meat was a vital source of protein in Japan. But government statistics show these days very few Japanese eat any whale meat at all.
There are fragile whale populations around Japan that cannot sustain commercial hunting, that cannot feed a meaningful Japanese market, even if there were one, for whale meat.
Japanese supporters of whaling include Captain Maeda, the whale hunter turned whale watcher.
I will continue whale watching tours, but the whale hunters should catch the whales. I want both to coexist.
One wonders how long these two completely contradictory impulses can coexist in the waters around Japan. Ivan Watson, CNN, in the Sea of Okhotsk, off the coast of Japan.